Very good morning. I happened to go to the zoo the other day and brought back lovely nostalgic moment for me because I think the last I went to school was about to the zoo was I think 25 30 years ago. Yeah, that so much of time has gone by, but quite a few changes in the zoo. But one of my favorite sections was the reptile section. Yeah, I somehow enjoy studying about snakes and other reptiles. And I started this study way back because they always intrigued me as to how do these creatures function, and it's amazing. Well, everyone has got feet to walk on. These guys crawl and kind of, what's the word they use for snakes? But they meander through their way through the terrain. So it took me back again to the time when my father first built his house way back in 1968 in Banjara Hills. There was nothing there except for 3-4 houses. It was just hill, rock, and lots of trees. Now that's a perfect habitat for animals. And we used to see fox, jackals, deer, and yes, plenty of reptiles. Now, since this was one of those very few homes that was built, it so happened one day that, in those days you never had mosquito nets like we have today with the sliding shutter and all. They had those typical, windows in cast iron frame, not wood, and brass handles. They used to have brass handles for support. So I had one of these windows, for the bathroom, which would open like this. It's like a window that you'll see in a ship on the bridge, where the officer can open it up like that and let some air come onto the bridge where they are piloting their ships. So I happened to go inside. The lights were off. One light outside in the bedroom, and I was putting my hand in through the grill to release the handle, and then suddenly I see that the handle, especially on the top where you hold, it's shining. And not shining completely, but 2 spots are shining. I kept wondering, what the hell? I've never seen this kind of thing before. I mean, I've shut the window so many times. I went in a little closer. I still couldn't figure it out. Thank God I didn't touch the damn thing. I put on the bathroom light. And what do I see? The snake, which is standing vertically. It looked like the brass handle. I said, my God, thank God I didn't touch it. Because most of the snakes over there are the poisonous ones. So I could see the pattern. It was slightly, the golden brown color. Now golden brown normally means it's a cobra. So anyway, I didn't touch it. I let it be. I didn't tell my folks. I shut the doors. I padded it with newspaper. And the window was a little open, so I knew it would disappear by morning. It was there to rest. So that was one incident. The other incident was it was a Sunday. I was busy doing my homework or something, if I'm not mistaken, and suddenly I hear this scream coming from the kitchen. So I get up and run towards the kitchen, and what do I see? I see my mother standing on top of a stool. So I said, Mother, what are you doing? So in those days, in order to go to the kitchen, you had to go through a pantry which had the refrigerator and another counter for sorting out your vegetables and all that sort of stuff. So my mother is on a stool right opposite the refrigerator, and she's pointing down, there's a snake, there's a snake. And sure enough, when I look down, there's a snake right opposite the refrigerator along the skirting of the counter. It must have been about a 2 feet long thing. And then when I saw the pattern, it was thick. Okay, not like the cobra, which was thin. It was thick, about that big, maybe about 2 to 2.5, 3 inches in diameter, and it had round spots, like a pattern, like rings, and a slightly broader head. The forehead was broad. I immediately made out this was a Indian python. So I said, Mother, don't worry. And you could make out it was lethargic. It was just lying there. So I went, picked up my father's walking sticks, and I used it like chopsticks. I went, grabbed it by its neck, picked it up, took it out into the garden, and let it go. My mother was like shivering. What are you doing? You don't know what it'll bite you. I said, Mother, it will not do anything. It's a non-poisonous, harmless little python. and it's a baby. The poor thing got lost. So I picked it up and I put it into the garden, and that thing went. And like that, many things happened. I've had a cobra go over my foot also while playing cricket in one of the grounds. So the point I'm trying to make here is that we tend to get scared of such things, but the fright will not be there if you study them. Learn about these things that are part of our environment. Because remember one thing, they are not like us human beings who want to get into a fight just to prove something. When there's nothing there but they want to create something. Animals follow a code. If you don't disturb them, they will not disturb you. If they are hungry and they see that you are a nice piece of chicken or a nice piece of vegetable, they might come for you. For example, the black mamba, which is generally found in Africa. Why is it called black? Because its tongue is black. The entire mouth is black in color. That is one snake. If you see it, take a U-turn and run for your life. Because that snake can travel at 60 kilometers an hour. It's one of the fastest moving snakes. Lethal poison. So there are some snakes, whether they are hungry or not, they will attack. Because for them, attack is the best defense. But how do you know all this? It's only if you study. It's only if you take a little interest in your environment, not just go running after human beings who are going to give you something in return. No. It's the animals that you need to study more. And they are worth the study. Because they are going to provide you something which is going to be of benefit to you. They take care of the ecosystem. Like vultures, they take care of the ecosystem. They're not very good looking birds, but they are critical and they are required to clean up the junk that we create. That the other animals, after eating, they leave. They are the scavengers that clean up the ecosystem. So please, think about it. Learn a little about other things in life rather than the stock market or which job is more beneficial. You will find it very interesting. And I'm saying this from experience. Give it a thought. Pick up a book. There's plenty on the internet. Read about these snakes. Read about the reptiles that are there in your environment. You will find it interesting. Trust me. Have a lovely day.